What is the weirdest thing that you do when you're alone? Story 1. I regrew my beard recently, and as a result, I've fallen back into the worst private habit I have ever developed. See, I've always been something of a stickler for grooming, and that makes my facial hair a source of nearly constant frustration. Whenever I'm alone, I wind up running my thumb across my jawline, feeling for anything that's even a millimeter out of place. If I discover a hair that's slightly too long, I immediately have to trim it. And of course, dealing with that one offender often means that I have to punish the ones around it, too. I'll find myself making trips to my bathroom mirror maybe a dozen times a day, always with that Sisyphean intent of keeping my beard perfect. Of course, by the time that I'm satisfied, at least one hair will have grown a bit. Too long didn't read, I trim, and I trim, and I trim, and I trim. Story 2. I know, animal talking is already commented on, but nothing brings me joy like getting home from a long day at work, coming home, putting a blanket on the floor in the rabbit's room, and just unwinding. Sometimes I'll bring dinner with me and eat with them. No shame. There's nothing to worry about when I'm just relaxing with them. I'll tell them about my day or rant, and they'll hop on my back and hang out, and often we'll nap together. Story 3 was so sad because this was kinda recent. I was video calling a good friend of mine. In my mind, I was like, damn, I'm kinda hungry. So she was talking, and I just said, hey, I'm gonna eat some cornstarch. She first was like, what the F? No. But I didn't listen. I ate a tablespoon of cornstarch. It was actually kinda good, not gonna lie. She told me she might try it too. Damn, I might go back and get more now. Story 4. Sometimes I'll complain about something out loud to myself. Currently, it's the pollen and my itchy, oh god, so effing itchy eyes. I complain to myself so that 1, I won't complain to other people and annoy them with my negativity, and 2, I can hear myself and assess how much of a grumpy bee I actually am. Sometimes I hear it and I'm like, damn, I need to chill. Eat a taco. Calm down. Eat a taco, calm down is now going to be my new mantra. Frankly, I think we could all learn from the OP. Story 5. On the extremely rare occasion that I have the house to myself, I like to cook. See, my living room with the TV is directly adjacent to the kitchen. Also relevant to the story is that my mother-in-law lives with us since she can't really look after herself anymore. All she does is sit in the recliner marathoning Netflix or Ancient Aliens or that Oak Island BS or whatever cooking competition is on. All day long, from when she gets up between 10 to 11 a.m. to 1 to 2 a.m. at night. I will go to my grave with that awful theremin theme from Midsummer Murders playing over and over and over again in my head. The TV is practically always on, so when she and my wife have to go somewhere, doctor, salon, etc., I get the house to myself for a few hours, so I can finally use the kitchen in blissful silence. I never realized just how relaxing that can be. Maybe not the weirdest thing out there, but that's become the number one thing I look forward to doing when I'm alone. Story 6. I like to watch my balls move. Seriously, I know it's super weird, but a long time ago, I learned that the testicles constantly expand and shrink, so whenever I get glorious alone time, I stare with utter amazement at my self-moving love eggs. Story 7. I'm an adult with an adult job and an adult house and do adulty things like taxes and budgeting and investing in my future and retirement. I also climb up the stairs on all fours like an animal and sit on the floor in front of my couch just because I feel like snacking instead of eating while I watch cartoons. Weirdest is probably the sudden giggle fits I get from thinking of something funny, and it puts me in a giggly mood. I'm sure if someone was watching, they would think I was insane. Crap, this is enough like me that... Okay, time for a story from Mr. Facts. I talk to myself a lot, out loud, having arguments when I'm alone, but I will also suddenly realize I am singing a song that is essentially nonsense, and it's so hard to fake doing because it's just something I suddenly realize I'm doing, and I'm like, what the hell am I even singing? Like, it would be something like, Peter the Panda, eating all the Jack-Jacks, Peter the Panda, he laying down the smacks, over and over, but usually even more nonsensical. It's weird, but it always happens, and it is always something different and confusing as hell to me. I don't know how I do it, but I do. Story 8. I just lay down on my bed and think of the what-ifs of my life most of the time, such as pretending to be a rock star that knows how to play 3 instruments, and my friends would be amazed of my talent. What if I'm these insert cartoon universe, but with friends with insert character? I know it's cringy, but I would never write it as a fanfic. It's just a fun, and that could have happened in my life since my parents refrain me from going out with my friends since they don't want me to go to malls, swimming, and parks since they are afraid that something might happen to me. Story 9. Sometimes when I'm bored or don't feel like interacting with other people, I just lay wide awake on my bed looking at the ceiling. I don't even think. I'm perfectly content with going days without even speaking to others or just aloud. I'll even not eat or drink unless it's like 5 a.m. just so I can avoid flatmates. I suppose that's pretty weird. Story 10. Provide background narration to whatever I'm doing. Sometimes I'll just pretend like I'm doing a vlog for people. I could be brushing my teeth and I'll be like, "Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. I'm just brushing my teeth," and so forth. Story 11. I've mentioned this before, but when I'm bored or have some downtime, I like to Google restaurants and bars in other countries. I take a look at their menus and try to decide what I would get if I was there. It's kind of weird, but it's a fun way to kill some time, and who knows, maybe one day I'll actually get to visit some of those places. Story 12. Commentate my life, like sports announcer style. Denny is dropping down, looking to put his sandwich away. That's right, Bob, truly a spectacular performance. One more bite should do the trick. Oh my God, a bag of chips comes out of nowhere. The crowd's absolutely loving it. Story 13. I like to practice how I would scream if there was an intruder or something scary in my house. Like if I'm walking to another room, I prep myself to have a reaction like if someone was there. I even scream at the top of my lungs sometimes. I certainly hope you don't have thin walls or adjacent neighbors, and if you do, I hope they're patient and understanding people. Also, for a while in my 20s, I trained myself to scream "Dracula!" whenever I was surprised, and it genuinely worked for a little while, but I fell out of the habit. Still, I think that would be a fun thing to scream at an intruder. Story 14. Get naked, dance around the house, fry bacon because the man said you shouldn't when you're naked. Also, get into a sleeping bag and pretend I'm a worm for several hours. In my defense, I had just been made redundant and declared to my other half I was a worm and that's my job now. It is important to note worms make a whoop whoop noise for perfect worm emulation. Story 15. I dance, but not normal dance, like creepy Smeagol sneaking around dance. Sometimes I also talk to myself. Story 16. I, like many people, talk out loud to myself. However, I like to pretend I'm being interviewed. It's a great way to process what I think about things, like movies or music or even just day-to-day life. I'm sure I sound like an absolute maniac if anyone heard me. Story 17. Have a full-on conversation with my dog. I even answer back for it in a silly voice. Basset hounds don't give an F and swear like sailors. There is nothing weird about giving your dogs voices and talking for them. My 2 dogs have voices, don't you girls? Mr. Caretaker, I think something might be wrong with you, right, Poe? Yeah, guys, Mr. Caretaker is kind of a weirdo. Those are legitimately the voices I do for my dogs. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day. Story 18. Put loud music on, cry if I listen to the song too hard, or go into some other world I've been creating since I was a child. Sort of like Imaginary Friends, but with a lot of history. I thought I'd grow out of it one day, but nope. Keeps me from feeling alone so often. Story 19. Well, I'm not technically alone since I have my dog, but when the rest of the family members aren't home, I walk back and forth between the living room and dining room while talking to my dog. I tell my dog what I think about things, how I'm feeling, what my opinion is on a topic, etc. Story 20. Play piano. No one knows I play, and I like it that way for some reason. Edit 1. When people ask about my piano in the lounge, I simply tell them that I'm storing it for a friend, LOL. Story 21. I'll sing out loud, which in and of itself isn't odd, but I'll sing said songs in different voices/accents. These can range anywhere from Angry Scotsman singing TLC's No Scrubs to an Alvin and the Chipmunks-esque rendition of CeeLo Green's F You. One of my favorites is to break down a song and essentially dictate the lyrics like a news broadcaster. It's weird in my opinion, but it did help me to be more readily capable at performing multiple accents/impressions and improved my singing range all the same. No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me, hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. Okay, yeah, that's pretty fun. Story 22. I speak aloud, alone, sometimes with objects. By the way, the toaster is quite sad because I haven't used it in a while. Story 23. Immediately say all the things I wanted to say to people during the day, but discretion stopped me. My cat knows I'm home when she hears me scream, "You are so effing stupid! How are you alive?" Story 24. I will purposefully switch out words to songs to make them funny. Oh, I'll sing to my dogs, too. Story 25. Sometimes I find that my mouth has drawn itself up into a grimace, like a smile just out of tension. It's only when my cheeks start to hurt that I have to consciously try to relax my face muscles. No idea what my face must look like when it's done that, like some awful, warped grin of misery. Story 26. Sometimes I'll randomly freeze in place and stare at a wall or into space for no reason for minutes at a time. In the middle of the night, I'll get up and walk to the kitchen just so I can stand there doing nothing. To an outside observer, it would probably look like I'm possessed or sleepwalking or something, but I'm fully awake and self-aware. Story 27. If it's cold enough, I'll just pop my hands into my shirt and cut my boobs. Instant hand warmers. Story 28. Sing. I love to sing. I just suck butt at it, and the music I like is normally pretty effed up lyrically, so I like to do it alone. Folks, I'm here to tell you there's nothing weird about singing when you're alone. I think a lot of people do that, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. I sing Tom Cardy songs at the top of my lungs constantly. And if you don't know where to find Tom Cardy, might I ask, have you checked your butthole? Story 29. I talk mad crap to my dog in my best Sam L. Jackson voice. The F you looking at? You want me to let you outside? Kiss my mother effing A. My dog does the happy dance by the door. It makes me feel like a bad A. Story 30. Running up the stairs full-on ninja style, complimented with screams. Got busted doing it once. Was quite cringe, but we laughed it off. Story 31. I recently gained weight and I'll hop around the house trying to make anything and everything jiggle while singing to the cat in my underwear. Story 32. I put things in the juicer to see what happens. Gushers work weirdly well. Watermelon is meh. Don't juice a potato. Story 33. Literally stare into empty space and think about how the hell I'm alive, how nerves make me feel pain, etc. Ask myself where you go when you die, if at all. Wonder what the chances of me being the person I am is. All the good stuff. Is this just me? Story 34. Create loads of scenes in my head. Imagine what my life would be like if it was actually good. Story 35. Pick my nose and roll the boogers around between my thumb and index finger to form a little ball. Story 36. I dictate to myself when I write. I find that I speak more naturally than I write, so I just write down whatever I'm saying. Hey, that's pretty much how I do these comments, like this, right now. I'm saying it out loud and writing it. I'm doing all the things, and it sounds totally natural. I mean, it sounds natural for me. Story 37. Sometimes I try to fit my cat's entire head in my mouth. She doesn't mind. Story 38. I'm trying to learn Japanese without anybody knowing, because I'm a huge troll, and when my family visits Japan in a couple of years, I want to just start fluently speaking to people. I mean, come on, it will be hilarious. Story 39. One time I pretended I had a talk show and I was sitting behind a desk with a mug of coffee talking to James Hetfield. Story 40. Masturbate outside in my backyard. I hope you have a fence. Story 41. Sing proclamations of my actions or intentions. I am home. Time for toast. I need to crap. Story 42. I sometimes go, "Oh, shut the F up," to myself when I remember something embarrassing I did 5 years ago. Story 43. I act out scenes from the movies. Story 44. I cross-dress. It all started when I was a girl for Halloween last year. I was surprised I had so much fun doing the makeup and picking the outfits, so I kept doing it secretly in my room when no one was around. Last week, I stepped out for the first time. I went to the thrift store and tried on a bunch of new clothes, bought 2 new outfits, and then visited a coffee shop. It was a huge confidence-building experience. I am very confident in my masculinity and manhood, but sometimes being a girl is very, very fun. Nothing weird about that at all. Even if you feel comfortable and confident with your assigned gender, it doesn't hurt to explore non-traditional stuff like that. I am a man, but I wear nail polish, lots of loud, colorful clothing, and sometimes enjoy a little makeup. Mascara in particular really makes my eyes pop. I'm glad to hear you're having a good experience, and more power to anyone out there exploring their identity. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.